Good morning, pilgrims. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about theft along the Camino and the type of money belt that I prefer and suggest that you buy and wear. Sadly, there always has been theft along the Camino. It's nothing new. There are reports hundreds of years ago of robbers lying in wait for pilgrims. Pilgrims are known to be carrying money, and so they're a target. And especially these days, when some people are really struggling, there is a little bit more theft on the Camino. Um, one of the places I really want, two places I want you to watch out for. One place is as you're walking into Pamplona, you're going to go over a drawbridge. It's a really cool place. It's a great photo opportunity, and so people will get out their iPhones or their cameras and start taking pictures of each other on this drawbridge. Well, there's almost always a group of young people there, cute little kids, you think, and they'll say, "Oh, let me have your phone or let me have your camera and I'll take a photo of you." So you do, and the next thing you know, they've hopped on their bicycle and they're gone, and so is your camera or your phone. So don't fall for this. Just say, no, no thank you, I'll take my own photos. The other thing is sometimes out of Saria and sometimes other places, there are groups of usually girls. They'll have a clipboard and they are pretending to be deaf. And they'll tell you that they're collecting money, usually for a deaf school. They're lying. They are not deaf. They are pickpockets. And what they will do is one of them will shove a clipboard into your belly to distract you, while the other one is pickpocketing you in the back. Or they'll just ask you for 20 or 30 euros and you give it to them, and there's really no reason. They're not deaf people. There's no deaf school. They are lying. So those are two places to watch out for. Other thefts along the Camino. Back in 2014, there was an incident, No Sobrero, where that's a huge albergue. There's like 100 beds there, and everybody was fast asleep in the middle of the night. Now, before everybody went to sleep, these pilgrims were watching very closely. They're professionals, and they were watching who had what, who put their money in their backpacks, and they knew exactly who put what where. Because during the night, when everybody was fast asleep, they went around and sprayed the room with pepper spray. Everyone got up, they couldn't breathe, they were coughing, their eyes were watering, they ran out. Well, these folks had gas masks on, and they knew exactly where they were going, and in a matter of a few minutes, they robbed many people blind. They took their passports, their money, their credit cards. It was crazy, okay? So that actually did happen. It's almost like a movie. On my very first Camino, I met a nice group of kids about college age, about 3 of them, who were walking. I met them in St. Jean Pied de Port, ran into them again in Roncesvalles. And then, as usual, we were walking different times. I didn't see them for a couple of stages. When we got to Pamplona, Joe and I were sitting out on the lawn somewhere, and along came one of these boys, and he was really sad-faced, and we're like, "Oh, buen camino, nice to see you." Well, he was sad because there at Jesus and Maria, all 3 of them had left their belongings with a nice pilgrim they had met on the route, walking with a backpack, looked just like a pilgrim, made friends, stopped and had a meal with this person, and then when they got to Pamplona, which is an excellent place for people to disappear, this nice pilgrim offered to watch their bags while they took a shower. So they took a shower and they came back, and their credit cards, their cash, their passports were gone, and their Camino was over. Quickly, other incidences of theft have been reported all over the Camino. Pickpockets in Madrid and Barcelona are terrible, especially if you're on the metro. Bilbao, Framista, Estella, a lot of robberies in Logroño. In Logroño and in Roncesvalles, there are lockers where you can put your items. Don't put your money, don't put your cash, don't put your credit cards, don't put your passport in those lockers. Any good thief can get into those lockers in about 10 seconds. And if you don't believe me, look on YouTube for videos on how to get into lockers. It's not hard. Don't put your money in the bottom of your sleeping bag when you go to bed at night. A good thief can slit the bottom of that sleeping bag, take your money belt and you'll never know he's there. Don't put your money in your backpack and put it next to your head on the floor, because you'll sleep right through them getting into your pack, taking out your money. Listen, these people are professionals. I once watched, this was in Italy actually, I once watched a woman with her backpack on walk down the street in front of me. She had been in shopping and she put her money in her backpack up in the top, okay, and there's a zipper up there. But this thief had watched her very carefully, waited for someone like her, and so she and her two friends were walking in front of us, about a half a block. The thief came up with a razor knife, slit her backpack, and took her money, and she just kept on walking. She didn't even know it had happened. By the time we yelled out to her what was going on, he was long gone. They're very professional. Watch some of the pickpocket videos on YouTube. You're going to be shocked. So also, when you take money out at the bank or at the ATM, don't put your money away into your waist belt in public. Find a bathroom in a cafe or a bar, go into the bathroom and do it in private. Don't let anybody see where you're putting your money and your credit cards ever. And I know that sounds paranoid, but it's just the truth. Robberies happen along the Camino all the time. If you're smart, what you'll do is take out 200 or 300 euros at a time. You'll put everything except for your daily allowance, which for me is 20 to 30 euros, depending on which route I'm walking and where I'm sleeping, in something like this, which you can buy in Pamplona at any tourist shop for a few euros. This is what you'll carry that 20 or 30 euros in. Everything else, all your other money, all your euros, your passport, your credit cards, any papers of value are going to be in your money belt. And this is the type of money belt I suggest you get. This particular one has RFID protection. They don't all, and honestly, I'm not sure how important that is. Although with the tap credit cards, it may be important. This one's a little more sturdy because it has the RFID, so maybe it won't be quite as comfortable, but what's more uncomfortable than this is losing everything. So I suggest you get this type of money belt, and I suggest you wear it 24/7, and I mean that. Wear it to bed. If you go into the shower, take a gallon Ziploc bag, put this in the bag, and take it into the shower with you. Never, ever, ever leave it in your backpack. So please, wear your money belt 24/7. I have purchased at Goodwill a different type of money belt. It's called a money belt, but it really isn't. It goes around your neck with a strap, and it looks like this. I don't know if you can see this. Okay. It's usually worn, actually it goes this way. It's usually worn around the neck on a strap. I do not recommend that for several reasons. Number one, if they're on a bicycle and they ride by and grab it just by the strap, they're going to choke you or break your neck or hurt you. Second of all, they can see these straps. They know what they look like. They recognize them, and they'll come up behind you with a razor knife and cut it. And then everything you own is gone. I do use these when I sew them into my Maccabee skirt or my walking pants, and I have a blog on that which will show you. It's a do-it-yourself blog which will show you how I do that. But even if I sew it in, I still often take this in case I'm washing. If I'm just taking one skirt, then I'll take this, because when I'm washing my skirt, I'll transfer everything into this money belt. At nighttime, if this is all I have, I'll wear this skirt to bed, okay? I can't stress enough how important it is to keep your belongings close to your body and not to trust a lot of people, sadly. I recommend also that you get a travel account that is separate from your personal savings account or checking account. I use Charles Schwab online bank because once a month they give me a refund of all the transaction fees. I can use my card at any bank in any country. No matter what the fees are, at the end of the month, Charles Schwab returns those fees. Also, keeping your travel money separate from your personal bank account is a good idea. I would keep your credit card in your money bag, but I would also keep a separate, excuse me, a separate credit card somewhere, whether it's on your iPhone or however you do it, just in case it is stolen. And I would take a photo of the front and back of all your cards, so in case something is stolen, you have easy access to the 1-800 numbers and to the card number itself. When I arrive in, I don't purchase euros ahead of time. When I arrive in Madrid, I go to the ATM. There are several ATMs in the airport, and that's in every airport these days. And I go to the ATM, and as long as you have a ATM card with a 4-digit numeral, not letters, 4-numeral PIN, you can use ATM anywhere in Spain. I go to the ATM at the airport and I take out 200 or 300 euros. That's it, no more. And that's what I carry. I take out 20 or 30 euros, put it in here. The rest goes into my money belt. That lasts me several days, even if I'm paying cash for things. And also that way, if you're walking, for instance, on the Via de la Plata for a few months, there were a couple of guys who were robbing pilgrims. They just want to take your money and get the hell out of there. So if you've only got 20 or 30 euros here, they're only going to get 20 or 30 euros. And even if they do take your money belt, they're only going to get the cash that you have in there, which hopefully will only be 200 or 300 euros, not your whole bundle. I would leave information like credit card numbers and telephone numbers for the credit card companies with friends and relatives, someone you trust. So in case you are robbed in this way, you can get a hold of them and get a hold of your credit card companies and report the card stolen. I'd also report any theft to the police right away, no matter how small. And even if you don't feel like they're going to do anything, they will pay attention, because people whose income rely on pilgrims don't appreciate pilgrims being robbed. So be sure and report anything that happens. So again, I suggest you only take out 200 or 300 euros at a time. And just when you start getting low, go to the next ATM in the next village. Almost every village has an ATM. Okay? When you're using the ATM, it's a good idea to pay attention to who's around you. Don't let people help you. Okay? If you have a friend that you know that you are walking with, have them stand with their back to yours and keep their eye out. Because a lot of the pickpockets will get really close and they'll watch you putting your PIN in, and they can watch you from a long ways off. They'll see your PIN number going into that ATM, and then they'll target you and they'll watch, and when they steal your card, they've got your PIN number. So don't be paranoid, but be careful. Use your good sense. So I think that's about all I have to say. This is the money belt I suggest. Wear it 24/7, even at night when you sleep. No matter how uncomfortable it is, it's more uncomfortable to have to stop your Camino because you were robbed. Get yourself a little purse like this. I often carry a little waist pack. We call them a fanny pack in the United States. I know people from UK are going to laugh at that because a fanny to them is something different. But I keep that, days, money, and a pen, and a few other items in that little pack in the front. Everything else goes in my waist belt. A money belt also, I wanted to mention, there are 2 other types of money belts that I've used. One is a belt that's got a zipper long ways along it. I didn't like that. It was too hard to stuff all that money in there, even if you used large bills. But if you're a guy and you're wearing a belt every single day, that's fine. Just take your belt with you into the shower. The other one is a type of a money belt that has usually 2 loops. It's usually a tan one and a black one, so you can change belts, or a brown one and a black one. And you put that over your actual belt and then tuck it inside your pants. Those are good. I've used those before, but just be careful, because a good thief will look for those loops, and it's not that hard to use a razor knife, cut them, and run. And I guess the last thing I'll caution you against is keeping anything of value in the big pockets of cargo pants. Joe and I were once walking in Portugal at an open market. We were holding hands. We were partners back then. We were holding hands walking through this marketplace, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a hand going into the pockets of his cargo pants. And without even thinking about it, I just slapped the shit out of that hand because I knew it wasn't Joe's because he was holding my hand. And some guy yelped back behind us, and there were three young men behind us, and they were going for Joe's wallet. They had watched him put it in those cargo pants, and man, that cured him. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. Okay, have fun. Think about the things I've said. Watch videos on YouTube. Go to YouTube and do a Google search on pickpockets Spain, pickpockets Paris, and watch them. Man, they will scare the padoo out of you, and you will keep your money close. All right, have a buen camino.